Crypto products are unregulated and could be highly volatile. Please be aware of the risks before investing.
राज, बाबूजी के आशीर्वाद से हमने अपनी नई शुरुआत तो कर ली, पर अपना फ्यूचर प्लान कैसे करें?
बड़े-बड़े शहरों में ऐसी छोटी-छोटी बातें होती रहती हैं।
Looking for perfect start? Get a Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
जब मैं तेरी उम्र का था ना, तो एक सक्सेसफुल करियर, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग सब रेडी करके रख चुका था। और एक इन महाराज को देखो, पूरा दिन फोन में लगा रहेगा।
दैट प्लानिंग तो मैंने भी कर रखी है, Unocoin के साथ।
नए जमाने के साथ नई चीजें आजमाएं। Looking for Bitcoin? Download the Unocoin app.
Guys, we really need to work hard. This wasn't a good quarter. Tell me, are you happy with this?
Unocoin.
Want to earn Bitcoin? Just grab your phone and shake it. Download the Unocoin app.
Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin.
Get a systematic buying plan from the Unocoin app to get your Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू Unocoin's AMA सेशन डियर ऑडियंस। एक बार फिर से आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे एक और AMA सेशन में। और जैसा कि आपको पता है, आज का हमारा जो टॉपिक है वो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, क्योंकि आप लोग अक्सर पूछते रहते हैं कि क्या टूल्स या टेक्निक्स यूज की जाए प्राइस प्रेडिक्शन के लिए। तो आज हम उससे रिलेटेड एक टॉपिक के बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं, जो कि टेक्निकल एनालिसिस है। अब टेक्निकल एनालिसिस करके आप कैसे अपनी फेवरेट क्रिप्टो करेंसीज या पर्टिकुलर क्रिप्टो करेंसीज के प्राइसेस को प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं, वो आज हम इस एएमएस में समझने वाले हैं। और इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के लिए हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही खास एक्सपर्ट जुड़ चुके हैं। I would like to welcome Sathish Arvind, who is our very own in-house speaker, and he is a crypto trading expert with an experience of over 6 years. Sathish, तो खैर मैं क्या ही बोलूँ, he's been a great person at trading all along, and we have been, working with him. It's so great. So, Another thing, guys, Satish would be more comfortable with his native English language speaking skills, okay? But अगर आपके questions जो हैं वो हिंदी में भी आ रहे हैं, that's absolutely fine. I will translate them and convey them to Satish for you. So yeah, we're gonna start in like another 2 minutes with an introduction of Satish's. But if you have any questions, which I'm sure you're going to have, just drop them in the comment section, no matter what language you want to use. I'm always there to help you out. So, hi Satish, how are you doing today?
Hey Shamve, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm great too. I'm great too. So, Satish, we do this all the time whenever
Right,
we
yeah.
have an external speaker. It's very interesting to know a certain someone's journey in the crypto space because we know it's so relatively new.
Sure.
And since you've been in the space for so long, so where did you start from? When did you get into the space?
Sure, my pleasure. So as you rightly told, I have been close to 6 years now in this space. So it started around 2018. So I have started, quite opposite, like most of the people will get into the bull market. So I kind of got into, my start of the journey right into the bear market. And I had a, kind of a very adventurous journey, I would say, like bear market followed by an optimism. Then we had a COVID crash. Then I had my first euphoric bull run that I experienced, which is like, surreal with respect to, what I experienced. And then, we always know like last 12 to 18 months, right? So it was one of the worst bear market that we have been facing with
Yes.
lots of, macro environment factors, recession on the gloom and, FTX, Luna, Terra, a lot of stuff, right? And now again we are looking for a bright future, so right. So I think the whole journey was if I have to say, this journey has made me from a novice participant in the market to understand the market. I won't say I can understand each and everything because no one can do that, but I can confidently to an extent say that I now understand to an extent like what market says to me.
Yes, indeed, indeed. I think that is one of the most crucial things because crypto is so new. Every day there's something new, and actually to have a grasp on those things, you need to understand the things that came before it. And since you got in a space in 2018, which is relatively very early for an Indian person to get
Right.
into this, and like we say, India is one of the biggest market for crypto and Web3. I'm sure it's really great. Like, I always repeat this one thing from an AMA I had with Pranav Maheshwari. He mentioned how alpha lies in being early to the space. So I think that kind of says it all.
Right.
So now coming to the topic, Satish, what is technical analysis? Like, to start with the most basic question.
Sure thing. See, be it trading or investment, so it's nothing but having a position in a market and trying to ride in the right direction, right? And the market movement is nothing but it's all the human emotions that directs, right? And the human emotions always swing between greed and fear, right? So there will be a fear whenever there is a bad news, and whenever the market seems to be promising, there's always a greed that I want more, right? And it always goes in a cyclical way. So which means the market is also by nature cyclical, right?
Yes.
So when that happens, right? So it's all about finding the right trigger points of the human emotion, right? So once someone understands where the human emotion get triggered, and then he can able to kind of speculate where the market can go, right? So now, having all said that, how we can quantify that? So this all seems to be like a gyan or kind of a vague gut feeling and heuristics, right? So that's where quantitative aspect of trading or investment comes into the picture, right? To find the trigger points of human emotions in trading or investment, that's where technical analysis comes to the picture. So typically, technical analysis is nothing but to find the trigger levels, right? So we in analyzing part, so we will always try to understand what are the key levels, and to support that not only just with one particular indicator. So the more indicator that confluence to that, the more the probability of our hypothesis getting right. Right. So there are multiple indicators that one has to kind of master or try to understand or try to have its hands on, and once they have that, they will have, once we can come up with the hypothesis like okay, now I have certain levels, like now this level, because of the so and so action, I think I can expect this price action to happen, right? And why this is becoming so important is primarily because, as I told, first thing is it is quantifiable, and quantifiable always helps in the right
Yes,
decision,
yes.
right? And second thing, post data, if you see, for crypto we have 10 years of data, and for stock market we have a century of data, right?
Yes.
And all those always have
History repeats
yes,
itself.
that's exactly thing. So history often rhymes rather than repeating, right? So with that thing put together, so there are a lot of indicators with hypothesis that comes in, and that really helps to come up with a informed decision while taking a position.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it also serves as a very great means of assistance when you are trying to, maybe look at your position and what to
Right.
do to sell or to hold. So I think it absolutely serves as a very great tool to use in crypto
Exactly.
trading, especially. So we have got a couple of questions here. First one is from Ganesh. Ganesh here is asking time frame of intraday trading. So I'm not sure how comfortable you are answering this, but in a generic way, if you can.
Okay. See, everyone has to find out their comfort time frame, right? So
Yes.
in my case, I'm kind of kind of a long horizon trader, or I would say I'm an investor. Like I try to identify the macro entry points, and try to have my time horizon for, let's say, 6 months to 2 years, and then to see if there is a euphoric stage and whether my indicators are showing that whether it's triggering a buy signal or sell signal, and based on that I will exit, right?
Yes.
So with respect to intra, so people can do 15 minutes trading as well, even 5 minutes trading. So there will be high leverage 1 minute trading also has been done. So one thing what I could recommend him, Mr. Ganesh, is, so try to put a small position. Again, risk management is a key, right? So before one enters a trade, he should first understand why he's entering, right? So as I told, that's why the technical analysis comes to the picture. So you should know the why reason for entering the trade, and he should always have the triggers, whether where he should take the profit or where he should cut the loss, which is the stop loss, right? So once he have these three things clear, then only one should get into the trade. And probably he can do a very small position trade for, let's say, different time frames, and see which one is he is comfortable. So let's say if he goes with a 15 minutes chart trade, and if a particular trader is kind of over anxious, right? Which means that he is either overexposed or it's not comfortable on the time frame, right? So when someone has a clear mindset or that clear goal, the entry, take profit and stop loss, and I think any time frame works, and it's all about just it's a different style of trading that one has to find, whichever is comfortable with himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Ganesh, this is a very good piece of information that you can get. And absolutely intraday trading को लेकर के मतलब हमेशा ये बहुत जरूरी है कि we always keep saying this in our AMAs, only put at stake what you can already afford to lose. So obviously please just take care of this factor, then I guess you're good to go with the whole situation.
Right.
Otherwise obviously Satish, what he said is very meaningful. So Satish, we have a lot of other questions, but there's one question in my mind regarding
Sure.
this. So when it comes to all of these trading positions and all those things, so do you prefer, like, what would you suggest a beginner? Should we keep a balance of long-term holdings and the short-term trading experiments, I would say, or should we focus on small staking, small-term trading, or what it should be like for a
Right.
beginner?
So as I told, with respect to time frame, right, it's almost remains the same, right? So be it a 15 minutes trade, or taking an intra trade or swing trade which hovers around few days, or like a macro trader who takes care of macro positions. So the hypothesis remains the same. Only thing is that the oscillation will the frequency of oscillation will be very frequent in shorter time frame, and vis-a-vis the longer time frame, right? So an advice, or the right approach for the beginners, as I told, the very first point which you told is, don't invest something which you cannot afford to lose, right?
Yes.
That's the very first one. And don't borrow money, or don't use any credited money, right? So try to avoid that. These are all fatal errors that we can do. And probably this is like my personal opinion, or my learning, I would say, don't be deterministic. So I would always see in crypto communities, like, people will have so much of conviction that price is gonna go this side, or price is gonna go to this
Yes.
price, or this particular project is going to go bazaar, or this project is going to go down south or whatever. My thing is, market is not it's full of surprises, right? So if it is like so predictable, like everyone could have easily made money, right? So my understanding or my learning, as I was trying to say, don't be deterministic and try to be as probabilistic as possible. For example, what I'm trying to say, to just to elaborate, so try to see what are all the high probable scenarios that can play out, and just check, have a checklist that whether you're positioned for all these scenarios. For example, let's say, I think during FTX time, right, where we had the Bitcoin has dropped down to 15,000, right?
Yes.
So during that time, the scenario could be, probably it could be a bottom of this cycle, because it was a peak fear time. So if that could be a bottom, whether you have been positioned for that, or that could, that is first thing. The other probability is, no, it is not a bottom, it can even go further. Probably you can DCA, right? So another thing is, don't go all in, and in the best strategy would be DCA. And Unocoin has a fantastic product for that, which is systematic buying plan,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So don't go all in. So in this case, like the second scenario where it goes even further down, we can always DCA, right? And if that is the bottom and market started to move up, which has actually happened, right? So in that case, like you will have a position, like you already positioned for getting a good entry. Now you will position, like what if the market suddenly spikes within the year to 80,000, 90,000? Whether you have a strategy for that, or the market is going to be very boring for rest of the year. You have a strategy for that, or market is going to go like grinding slowly up, and probably in next 1 year it might go go 100,000 or whatever. So have some 4 or 5 different probabilities and position yourself for all these things. So that is my personal learning. I would say, don't be deterministic that this is how it's going to go, because if you are deterministic and if the market goes in opposite direction, you will be like in complete soup.
Absolutely. So we have questions here, but our friend Shrikant here is requesting, can we have the technical analysis session first and then discuss on the questions coming your way? So absolutely, Shrikant, I think we can start with the main session where Satish will be telling you how to do your basic technical analysis.
Sure.
So I think Satish, you can share a screen and
All
start with
right. Yeah,
that.
sure. Let me share my screen. Right. So is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
All right. See, technical analysis, just to give a high level, there are up to indicators that are there, right? And it's not like everyone has to use every indicator, or there is a rule book that these are the 4 indicators, and if that indicators matches or click, and we'll have a guaranteed outcome, right? So there are at least, let's say, easily in my kitty, I have at least 30 to 40 different indicators, and and the major indicators would be some 5 to 6 or 5 to 8, right? So, and depends on getting a confluence, I use multiple indicators. So in a high level, try to understand each and every indicator, what the significance of it, right? And I don't think that covering all the indicators will be scope of this session, right? So I will try to give a food for thought for that. In a high level, try to get as many indicators that you feel important, and try to apply with the historical data, so you will get a good understanding about the market movement with respect to those indicators. And you can use it for your analysis as well. And the more you spend time on the charts and these indicators, it will become so natural for you guys, right? All right, so now probably I will start with a weekly chart, because if I talk about kind of a a high time frame, that will also the analysis of the approach will apply to lower time frame as well. But if I go start with the lower time frame, because that might have a lot of false signals, right? Which might not be applicable for high time frame, right? As I told, the very first thing is, in technical analysis, it's all about finding the levels. So that is the mantra. So how to go about finding the level? There are different technical indicators. So one is that very blatant line that we can draw, supply and support and resistance.
Yes.
We can also have multiple indicators, Fibonacci series, cup and handles, and moving averages. Ultimately, all these are going to give us the levels, right? So to start, let me start with a very basic support and resistance determination, right? So as I told before, like there are certain areas where the human emotions get triggered, right? So this is like from this is the COVID crash that happened, and then we had a bull run, and then we had a dip, right? A market retest, and if you see here, the market triggered. The market was bought up very rapidly, right? So this is a very important level. Let me draw a, yeah, right? So this important level where from here the market again went there, and then it came. If you see for at least close to a month, it was trying to build it as a support, but ultimately it got rejected, right? Then again when it come here, so here if you see again the market has reacted and it got completely down. So we can also take this as another area of line. And within here if you see, this is the wick, right? So wick and body, if I were to just give a very small glimpse, like wick is nothing but it's not a close, whereas the body is where that price has closed for that particular time. So we can also take body as another important level, right? So in this retrace, this is the lowest close of the body, right? So in a high time frame, like I have just drawn 3 key levels. Now, so this is historical, right? So I have taken these are all dated back on June 21, which is like close to 2 years back. So let's say even now this last 1 year is not happened, or let's say we are currently in 2022, and if I drawn, so the line has been respected in retrospect, right? So now these are the T lines, right? So the price came here. So once this one has been triggered, then again once it came to the same lane, again the same reaction happened, right? And then after which to break this line we had a very huge impulsive move, and again where it got stopped, right to that line, right, the line which I drawn. And that line is not, I haven't drawn the line because it got rejected here. I had drawn this line which has been rejected or which has been acted as a trigger close to 2 years back, right? So now again this line has a huge reactions happened, and there was a slight breakout that happened, and but again it got succumbed in, and again it came down, and look where it got triggered again, or where it got supported, again the same lines, right? And again after a huge impulsive move it got up, and again there was some roadblock, and I don't think it's going to be a surprise. It's the another line which I've drawn, which is like more than 2 years back, right? So if you see, all this price action that is happening currently has been determined by the trigger points which has been done 2 years back, right? So let's say now we have been in 2022 and we have drawn the line. We could to an extent speculate like, okay, these are the key points where the market is going to react. Market might probably come here, and then probably it might reject, and or if it comes here it might reject, if it comes here it might reject. So now the market, if you see from March till now, which is like 4 months, right? So for last 4 months, the market is kind of sandwiched between these 3 lines, which has a significance like 2 years back, right? So now the critical thing is if the market is going to take a support here, or it's going to lose a support. If it's going to lose a support, the no-brainer is going to be there is a good probability it's going to take a support from the lowest line. Or if the market started to recoup, there is a good chance it might comes to the top line. And once it comes to the top line, we have to see whether the top line is going to get reject again or it's going to go through that, right? So from a position point of view, if you can see that these are all the levels. A support is the level where you can make a bid, and the resistance is the level where you can sell out, right? So let's say if the market comes here, or if the price comes to 31,700, so which is the level which at time and again has been rejected. So just before that, or almost during that price point, you can book some profit. If at all the market goes beyond that and retest, then you can, to a more confident level, you can again get in the market. But if the chance, as usual, the market gets rejected, then you already book a profit, right? So similarly, the level like this as well, even if the support is broken, then you have another support here where you can bid the price. So typically supports is where you will bid the price, and resistance is where you will book the profit, right? So this, as I told, probably this is what I have given in the weekly time frame, and you can use it for 4 hours time frame, 1 hours time frame. You can draw the levels based on that, and more probably or not, the market will respect those levels, right? So currently now, if I have to speculate with this, right? So probably I will just go here because I've already drawn the lines here, all the important lines, so that I don't want to waste the time of the sessions, right? So these are the 3 levels I've drawn, and these are the other key levels that I have drawn, right? So now let me take yeah, right. So if the price move, let's say in coming weeks, if the price has breached the top line, then it can retest and go up, right? Or if it again comes down, we have the levels already. So these levels are already determined to take a position or to take profit. But what if it goes outside that? So I haven't drawn the levels there yet. So let's say after this, we have another level here. This is the important level where it will go. So probably it will come here, and probably it might get rejected, or it might go push through it as well. So there are two scenarios that can happen. So here you can book a profit or have a profit strategy. If at all it kind of get retraced, then you can get into a better entry. If it start moving out, then you can again enter with a retest, right? So now once this line is also rejected, or this particular resistance also has been through, then I think we have a line which is drawn from the the top of the lot bull cycle, right? So which is somewhere around 100. So as this is like a rising line, right? As the time goes by, the target also increase. So probably if that's the reason why if the market increases sharply, then the target might be attained very early with a lesser target. So if it, let's say if it's going to be in March or April of 24, this line comes around 90,000. Let's say if it going to stretch, or going to consolidate and stretch, then probably around 25 and later of 25 it might go beyond 100k, right? So it also depends on the time factor as well, right? So this is another thing. And primarily again, I'm still in the support and resistance lines. If you see, there is a pattern overall in the macro, right? So this is one cycle, right? This is one cycle, this is one cycle, and this is another cycle, right? So these are all cycle of bull and bear, right? So typically, if you see, we have a bear market of declining wedge, then the market breaks that retest and goes parabolic. Again we have declining wedge, market was going down for a whole year of the bear market, then it breaks that wedge, then again kind of retest and goes there. Even the same cycle happens in 22 as well. So 22 whole year we were going within this line, within this range, and we now broke retest and we are going in the upward direction, right? So typically we have, if you see, for the whole market cycles can be classified into four phases, right? So one is the down phase, then we have a boring consolidation phase, then it's called kind of a bull run of phase one, which is again not a parabolic one. The final one is parabolic, right? So if you see in the previous cycle also, we have a downturn, boring phase, then we have a bull run phase one and parabolic. So this cycle, if okay, it's all my personal opinion though, based on my hypothesis. So we have completed our downturn, and we have completed our kind of boring phase or consolidation, and we are currently in the phase one of bull run, right? Which probably can take 100 days or 200 days, and then we will have the parabolic run, given as in line with all our previous markets, right? Now,
but obviously, guys, always keep in mind to do your own research, right? We are always here to tell you the things that are important for you to understand, but your requirement to do your own research is very, very, very important. Here, Satish is telling us very nice and important points where we could book a profit, or maybe, enter the market, and the points which are very, very important in a chart. But Satish, as I reckon, there are also some chart patterns, right, that we look at and we understand if we are to predict if it is going to go right or it's going to go wrong.
right.
So what are those major, like if you could classify four for each to look at कि हाँ ये चार आ गए तो फिर नीचे जाना और ये चार आए तो फिर ऊपर जाना.
Okay. See, again, chart pattern, if I say, there are a lot of patterns
Yes.
within that. We have morning star, three soldiers, so quite a different pattern that we have. Just to give a glimpse, so way the chart or the candle has closed or the candle structure has been, that will give some insights about how the market is. Say for example, this again, I'm not getting to the basics of what is candle and wicks, right? So let's take particularly this candle, right? So this is the candle where we have a
Can
very
you zoom in a little more?
just a second. So we have a very small body here with big wings, right? So these are all called dojis, right?
Okay.
So a doji, which is like dragonfly doji or grave doji, that will kind of gives a idea where the market is reversing. So here we have a kind of if you see very thin bodies, right, in the
Yes.
bottom. So this one, right, and all are having a good buy. So we have a below shadowing which is like lengthier, right? So which kind of shows that these are all a dragonfly doji, which means there is a chance that the market is trying to reverse, right? So this is one example. And again, we can't just go with just one indicator. Just because we
Yes.
saw one candle and that candle is bullish, it doesn't mean that there is a very high probability that the market is going to reverse. As I
Yes.
told, as doing a technical analysis, we have to try to combine lot of indicators as much as possible and see if let's say only two indicators are supporting my hypothesis that market is going to go up. With others, let's say six indicators are confluencing with that. So the more the indicators we have, I think the more the confidence or probability that we will have,
Yes.
right? So another thing probably I can show you. So these are all like when we have three or four consecutive greens, right? So three consecutive greens, it's called as a three white soldier, which means that market is pretty much in showing very good
Positive
strength,
side.
right? And there's a good continuation that will happen, right? So in fact, what I can, so all this in the interest of the user, say let's say there are different types of user with different levels of analysis skill set that they currently have, right? So let's let's say some of our audience who might have some good understanding about it. I think I will just give a food for thought for them because they already in the journey and they can explore more. For the users who are just starting, I think the basic the support resistance line, and in fact probably I can show a couple of indicators which will make your life so easy, right? So for example, okay, so this is a free indicator in trading view, so it's called a super trend, and this indicator will show kind of a magic indicator which will tell, it's like a friend which will tell on a particular point where you can buy and sell, right? So here if you see, there is a buy indicator here,
Can you zoom
and
in?
this is fine,
Yeah.
visible. So this indicator is series of buys and sell alternatively. So again, it's not 100% proof, but for the beginners, this will give a kind of save lot of your analyzing part. And again, take this as a supporting indicator along with other indicators, right? So this is one indicator where it will instead of you arriving at where to buy and sell, this will show you, okay, here this is the point where you can buy, this is the point where you can sell. And simple thing is, if you see here, if you're bought and here if you sell, it's like definitely it's a high, the price is higher, right? So similarly, if you buy here, so if you sell here, and again if you buy here, so you are selling somewhere around 60,000 and buying somewhere around 20,000, which is like a good ratio. So this is one indicator probably which will help you to kickstart your things, because all the computation, all those things has been done by this tool itself, right? And it will just give you the buy and sell the call for you guys. And again, it won't be 100% true. There might be cases where there will be false signals, but the higher the time frame you take, the false signals will be less. If you do this the same with 15 minutes chart, there will be a lot of false signals. If you do with the daily chart, the false signals will be slightly lesser. If you do with the weekly or monthly chart, the false signal will be very, very less. As simple as that, right? So this is one. And the second, another one probably I can show you is again, it's in the same lens where it will show you like which is the right place where you can enter or exit, right? So it is called pi cycle, right? Yep. So this will show which is high and which is low in the macro scale. Again, I've taken a weekly, so it will show me the multi-year macro thing. If you and if you take in a lower time frame, it might give a false signal. So in weekly time frame, both super trend as well as this pi cycle the false signal is very, very less, right? So if you see, when we are here, it has shown this is high, and when we are here, it has shown it's low. So let's say when it trigger a low, probably if you are bought here at 3,000, and next time when it triggered buy, it was around 60,000. It's a no-brainer, right? So again, one thing, don't kind of misunderstood that, since it is showing, you can blindly go with it. I'm trying to help the beginners, like what are all the indicators. Probably they might not know these indicators, right? So these are the indicators where that will kind of elevate almost 60-70% of their analyzing work. And once they have this, then probably their next step is they can do their own analysis and try to see whether it is making more stronger evidence to their analysis with this low and highs, right? So low here, high here, and again for this cycle, it has shown a low somewhere between, let's say, 17,000. Let me check. Yeah, so 17,000, right? And so let's, if you have bought it somewhere around 17,000 or 18,000, so still definitely we are in a good place now, right? And again, in future, definitely it gonna trigger a high somewhere, be it 80,000 or 120, whatever it is, or 70. That could be a good point. Again, as I told, so the reason why I'm keep reiterating is, don't be deterministic, as I told again, and don't just blindly believe an indicator. So try to do your own research, try to confluence with a lot of other factors and stuff, and make this as your supporting evidence for your thesis, and to take an action.
Absolutely. So on this note, guys, we're gonna take a quick short 1-minute break. उतनी देर में आपके पास जितने questions आ रहे हैं इन सारी चीजों को लेकर के, please shoot them now in the comment section. We're gonna take all your questions after this, and our expert here, Sathish, will obviously be very happy to answer all your questions. ओके सो वंस अगेन वी आर बैक हियर, और एक बार फिर आप सभी का स्वागत है ऊनो कॉइन के एएमए सेशन में, जहां पे हम बात कर रहे थे टेक्निकल एनालिसिस से क्रिप्टो करेंसीज के प्राइस प्रेडिक्शन कैसे किए जाते हैं। अब जैसा कि मैंने बोला था ब्रेक पे जाने के पहले कि अब हम आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस लेने वाले हैं। वी आर हियर एंड आई कैन सी सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस हियर, सो सतीश, आर यू रेडी फॉर देम?
Yep, sure.
We'll start with Sachin Kundal, who's asking why Cardano is not pumping while every top 10 large cap sees some movement, but ADA is in range. So
Sure. So very interesting question, because again, my personal thing. So Cardano is my most favorite project, right? So I've been following. In fact, I entered into the space due to Cardano, right? So again, whatever I'm saying is my personal, opinion or my understanding, right? So Cardano, if you see last cycle as well, it has been a terrible underperformer during bear market, but an awesome overperformer during bull market, right? So if you just see the charts and if you just go by the historic data, you'll understand. And another thing is like, unlike other chips or blue chips like Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So Cardano was trying to find its bottom, and during the time, again, there are a lot of macro factors that got into the sway, right? So one is when it was trying to recover, was the time where SEC has sued Coinbase, and the most significant part in that is some of the coins, including Cardano ADA, has been mentioned as prospective securities, right?
Yes.
So that is the one which has triggered Cardano to get into 22 cents range, and kind of from 22, it's currently I think it's somewhere around 31 cents or 32 cents, which is I think 30 to 35% up from the bottom, from the 22 cents during that time. So which is like still good, right? So my hypothesis again, without any financial advices, Cardano has been an underperformer previous cycle, and it has been true to that in this cycle as well. And it has been a great performer during the bull cycle. It has outperformed almost every blue chips in last cycle, and I expect the same this cycle as well. But if you have been concerned about Cardano, right, what I suggest is go look into the Cardano ecosystem. The ecosystem is exploding. We have a lot of doubt, dexes like Muesli Swap, MinSwap, and there is a cool lighted meme coin as well, which is making the whole ecosystem light. And there are lending protocol like LendFi. We have Liquid Finance, which are giving good yield forming and a lot of options for that and whatnot. So there are so many stuff that is happening within the ecosystem. If you take the TVL that is happening, right, the total value logged across all the other chains in from bear market, Cardano is the only chain that the TVL is actually going up, right? So there are a lot of metrics that is happening positive, but the price is stagnant because of the the macro environment that is currently going on. So there is a good chance that if you have the conviction, do your research, and probably you can dwell deep into Cardano. But it has a good future and a promising one according to my aspect.
Yes, absolutely. And I think same goes for any other cryptocurrency which is already in a good shape, like
Right.
which is a few years old. I think the best part is don't look at the shallow side of the things. You should always go research about the ecosystem, the founders, the tokenomics. Like, in multiple of our AMAs, different experts have mentioned this. Don't just look at the price, but look at the entire ecosystem.
Yeah. So when you are trying to invest, most of the people, the maximum research they do is get into Twitter, follow some influencers, and or Google search it, right?
Yes.
So those are all probably just scratching the surface. If you want to really understand, the right way to research is get into the white paper, get into their communities, right, or Discord or Telegram, and whatnot for Cardano level, as well as the dApps, or within the ecosystem there are a lot of dApps that is happening. So within, if you are particularly interested or know about a project, get into that community, try to interact with them, try to see how they respond, try to understand the tokenomics, right? That is actually the real research, rather than trying to understand from the influencers, because every influencer, I'm not taking of all the influencers, everyone has their own biased opinion, or probably they might also have some sponsored tie-ups and whatnots, right? So the best way is to do it yourself.
Absolutely, do it yourself. Very rightly said. I think just maybe a term when whosoever created this term was a very wise man, because be that crypto space, be that any investment space, doing your own research is very, very, very important. And we keep saying this, guys. So always do your own research. There's another question by Sachin, but we'll take that up soon enough. Crypto Monker here is saying good analysis for newbies. So that's a compliment
Thank
and
you.
a little round of applause for you, because
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was very cautious that I don't wanted to, baffle someone who is, trying to understand as a newbie. So I was trying to be as simplistic as possible. But as I told, when I set the contest, so it's not, I'm just trying to give a food for thought and setting the contest. There are different styles and different analysis that you can pick up. So try to learn stuff. So as you learn, you'll know which one is your game to play.
Absolutely, absolutely. So here, Crypto Monker is asking, please give some more trading confirmation concepts. So I think this is more about the signals and the little chat patterns you were talking about. So
Right. Confirmation. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay, if I go to, probably I will take this time for a different time frame so that they will can able to relate. All right. Or I will go here. Let me take a 4-hour chart. Right. Okay. So now if you see here, see this is the consolidating pattern that is happening for almost a month, right? So we have broken, let's say these are the 3 levels in even the high time frame which I've given, right? So once it came here, it kind of got triggered or the reaction happens, and then it kind of gone
Shot
up,
up to there.
shot up there, and if you see where it again got rejected, right, exactly on that line, right? So in whatever we have drawn in the weekly, it can also be applicable in the the lower time frame. But in the lower time frame, we have even more candles that we can dissect, right? So if I come here, so probably I will take yeah. So let's say this is within this we have a channel that is happening line, and I will take another one here. So, yeah, okay, probably I will change this. Okay. Okay. Right. So, okay, I will also remove this. So within this bigger timeline or bigger, support and resistance line, so I have drawn a channel or another line here for the 4 hours, right? If you see, like, this started on, let's say, June 22nd, and we are currently on July 27th, which is like more than a month.
Yes.
So within a month, if you see, it has been hovering within this 2 range only, right? And there was a few small deviation, so we can take this as a deviation. So this is what he is trying to make as a confirmation, right? So always, sorry, what is his name? Sachin, right?
Cryptomonker.
Cryptomonker. So Cryptomonker always, my again, it varies from style and person. So my confirmation would be within this time frame. Always, I will take a confirmation candle, a breakout candle, and a confirmation candle, a double confirmation, right? So which means, like, if you see here, we had a breakout here. So then we had, I'll wait for 2 confirmations for a daily candle, and if it is a short term, I will take for 3 confirmations, right? So why 2 confirmation on long term and 3 on short term? Because as I told, short term has more false signals than long term, right? So since it is 4 hours time, I will take 3 confirmations. So here we have a breakout candle. Then I will wait for 3 candles to close above it. If 3 candles has closed above it, then to a high degree of probability, I will kind of assume that we are going to go out of this range, right? Because again, there is no discrimination or certainty, right? So I'm just going with the probability. But here, if you see, after the third candle again drops into the range, right? So this now we can take it as a deviation. So it has deviated slightly, but again got back in, and we have been here. So now here again we had a brokeout candle. So actually this time it broken downside of the range. So let's say we'll wait for 3 candles, 1, 2, 3. So we had 3 candles below that, which means what happens is the range break has been confirmed, right? So it has broken down, and there's a good chance it might come down, right? But typically what happens is, once there is always a level has been broken, that level again not 100% or need not necessarily be, but there's a good chance that level will be retested again, right? So I think that is what is currently happening. So we had broken down, we had a confirmation candles, and we have been retesting it. So now if I have to say, or I have to speculate, Retest is complete. Now we can probably go down again, and once we are coming down, we have a line ready for it, right? So this is a line which has drawn, in a long time frame, or one of the significant line, right? So one of the scenario could be this is rejected. Now we can come down here. So which means if it started to come down, probably this could be a good area to see how it reacts. If in case it breaks above again, so just remember what I told. So there is a breakout that happens. So we will wait for 3 confirmations. Once the 3 confirmation happens, then probably we might retest as it again, and it might go up, and again it might go to this level, right? And again we'll have to see whether this level is going to be rejected or gone up. So this is how the confirmation will happen. So we'll wait for the confirmation. Once confirmation happens, then we'll wait for the retest, or it depends. Retest might not even happen. So we'll watch how it's taking shape, and if retest is likely to occur, we'll enter during retest. If there is no confirmation within 2 or 3 candles, again get back to the range, then that is a fake out or deviation.
Okay, great. I think this is a very great information for the people who are starting off with their crypto trading journey, guys. So, I know you guys are loving this session. I can see that in the comment section. So, अगर आपको ये AMA session अच्छा लग रहा है, प्लीज रीट्वीट करिए, शेयर करिए, फेसबुक पे उसको रीपोस्ट करिए, या फिर अगर आप लिंक्डइन से देख रहे हो तो वहां पे भी आप रीपोस्ट कर सकते हैं. उससे क्या होगा कि जो आपके साथ के भी लोग हैं उनको भी इस इंफॉर्मेशन का बेनिफिट मिलेगा. साथ ही साथ it's always good to spread good information that is around the internet rather than the fake ones that we get on WhatsApp anyways. So guys, of course there are a lot of questions. I know we'll try to finish as many as we can in the next 8 minutes that we have before the session ends. Lekin agar you want another session on this particular topic, maybe on an advanced range or something like that, or maybe on a beginner side of the things, again, just hit the thumbs up button if you're watching from a certain platform, or whatever the like button is from whatever platform you're watching. Just hit the like button, okay? So we'll take this question from Anil Kumar now. Satish, Anil Kumar here is asking, anything for new beginnings? What are the coin listings for investment? So Anil, we can't tell you the coins that you should invest in. Rather, I think Satish would be happy to tell you the type of coins that you should look for, and maybe what kind of research to do.
I think I kind of test based that, right? So when you are interested, so probably you might have get to know about a coin through some influencers or through your friends. Just because some influencers in YouTube or Twitter says that, or your friend says that, just doesn't mean that you can blindly go and ape it, right? So as I told, try to, the very first step is to get into the website and see, try to understand what it is, and then obviously the tokenomics and white paper, and then getting into the community, the Discord and Telegram, and see how the community vibes, how the team responds, and all those stuffs, right? So that will be the way. So in fact, instead of again coming back to the same thing, so you are asking some as an
Practical
expert, or
financial advice,
someone
yes.
to know, to give a name of the coin. Probably that, as I told, even if I say few list of coins, that will not really help you, because those coins might have a different risk covers and all those things. So which you have to primarily understand, and see whether it is suitable
Yes.
for you in your time horizon.
Absolutely, absolutely. And mostly guys, if you really want to start from beginning, अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा नए हो इस space के लिए, so the best thing I would suggest you do is look at our content on YouTube, read our blogs. We keep constantly
Right.
posting content around
Probably just
various
a tip
channels.
maybe I can give to him, or as advice, which I told, don't take it as
Not, don't take it
yeah,
literally, but
right.
yeah.
So see, again, in a very high level, again, for a beginners, it's typical to stock market. We have blue chips, we have mid cap, we have small cap or micro cap, right? So we can kind of categories here as well. Blue chips, we have the tier 2 or tier 3, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, all this, for the matter, they can be blue chips, which are like less risk and less rewarding. So it won't give you flamboyant rewards, right? But it's a good way to enter the market. To if you're a beginner, probably you can get into the blue chips, right? Because that the chances of getting to zero, again, it's not absolute nil, but it's lesser, right? Because again, preaching what I said, can't be deterministic, right?
Absolutely.
The second, so then if you go to the mid cap, let's say the market cap of 50 to 200, all those things will be slightly riskier but give a better return. And if you go to low caps, it's like zero sum game. You can get to, probably like PAPE or whatever coin, meme coins or something that suddenly comes up. Like yesterday there are a couple of coins that is in news, right? So that suddenly will come up and give a humongous return, and there are a lot of coins which might rug pull as well, and might go to
Yes.
zero. So you can segment these things based on the risk. So if you want to play safe, go to the blue chip. If you want to take some risk, or you have some risk appetite that you can put your small amount of money, go to the mid segment. If you just wanted to get that thrill of getting that aping micro caps, which I suggest completely against it, but it's open market, and everyone is free to do whatever they want.
एब्सोल्युटली अदरवाइज गाइस आपके पास एक बहुत ही अच्छा ऑप्शन है क्योंकि ऊनो कॉइन एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां पे आपको बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस मिलते हैं देयर इज अ फीचर कॉल्ड क्रिप्टो बास्केट ओवर देयर सो इन द इनिशियल डेज इफ यू डोंट नो हाउ टू डाइवर्सिफाई एंड व्हाट कॉइन्स टू पिक फॉर डाइवर्सिफाइंग आई थिंक क्रिप्टो बास्केट
Right.
इज अ वेरी गुड प्लेस टू स्टार्ट विद and I think most of the beginners they prefer something like this jahan pe it's a pre-curated basket where there are different coins, a different percentage is allocated to each of them, and then you just have to put a certain amount with whatever you're willing to put in, and that will just do the work of diversifying for you. You don't have to worry about going into the in-depth research. But yeah, like we always say, do your own research, but this is one of the options that you can avail. There are multiple features like SBP and coin, the crypto basket. So absolutely go ahead, there is content around on our YouTube also around that. You can go watch that as well for understanding. So we are almost near the end of the session, Satish, and I
Right.
think there's one last question that I would
Sure.
like you to take. Crypto Monker here is saying, what is the significance of trading volume in technical analysis, and how can it validate price trends in the crypto market?
That's a good question, actually.
Yes.
So let me try to get volume. Yeah. Okay. So just I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So see, volume plays a good role again in adding evidence or making our thesis strong, right? So when we see that there's a breakout happens, right, and if it is kind of added or substantiated with sudden spike in volume, which means this is not been manipulated by a fewer people, right? So this is actually an organic reaction that has done by a lot of people on the particular level. So as I told these are the levels where in particular level there will be some human emotion that will be triggered, be it support or resistance, right? But there could be a chance that very few people could be able to say manipulate it, right? So in that case where there is no buying and selling, not a huge volume of buying and sell matches that has happened, and only a very limited amount of things that is happening, which in that case then probably you have to consider that it could be a fake out, right? If at all we have a high volume spike that happened, then we can kind of, again, nothing is certain, as I told, nothing deterministic. Probability is high that this could be a genuine one. So just to give probably I can try to show you here with some we take a day's one. So yeah, maybe I will take this opportunity to show another time frame. And okay, volume, yeah. See, if you see here, this is one major level that has triggered to go, take a good heap, right? So if you see, the market was going down, volume is when during the consultation, the volume will get down because the market seems boring and people are waiting for that
Yes.
interesting level. So that we can able to see here, the market was boring, and when the interesting or that trigger level comes, you could able to see a good amount of spike in the volume, right? And similarly now if you see last 1 month we are in the boring consolidation, right? So that is also we can able to see the market volume is getting down, right? So is it visible or I have to zoom in more?
I think a little bit zoom in will do.
Okay, Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So this phase, if you can see in the bottom, this is the volume, right? So this volume, okay, now yeah. So this volume, if you see, it is kind of getting reduced, right? Which means this is actually a organic consolidation phase, right? And whenever we could able to see, let's say this major level or this level is being broken, and if it is substantiated by a good volume spike, then we can add it to our confluencing hypothesis that this breakout is actually by a huge amount of market participant. And if the volume is not that great, you have to be cautious. As simple as that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think this was a really great question and well answered, obviously, Satish. So Shrikant is asking, this is like a one word yes or no
Okay.
answer. That's why I'm taking this question. He's asking, can one be a successful trader in crypto based on technical analysis without having much knowledge on fundamentals?
Uh, See, again, as I told, with one, we can't able to come to a conclusive events. As I
Yes.
told, it's all about trying to find the high probability case, right? So if you want to have a high probability or the high success rate in getting a higher probability, then you have to get to understand or take into consideration as much as thing as possible, right? But so fundamentals plays a crucial role, definitely. But again, we have to technical is always the hard fact data, right? The charts will not lie, humans lie, right? Men lie, women lie, everyone lies, but the chart will not lie. But when it comes to fundamental news and things, there is a chance of manipulation, there is a chance of agenda. So one has to be matured enough, or have to be cautious enough to see which is noise, which is manipulated further, and which is the real news and how it impacts.
Yes.
That comes in experience. You be in the crypto space, or you try to learn about the space for, let's say, few months to few years. So every day pass by, you will get that skill. As simple as that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you want, we can do a session on fundamental analysis as well, right, Satish?
We can do that.
That will be very interesting. So, guys, मैंने जैसे कि बोला, if you really like this session, do hit the like button from whatever platform you're watching. And if you want more sessions on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, the comment section is just open. You can drop your request, or if you want a particular topic that you want us to discuss about, then obviously drop a separate comment regarding that. We'll obviously take that into consideration for our coming AMAs. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. It was a great session. Thank you so much for so many questions, and thank you, Satish, for such a wonderful and insightful session.
Thank you, Shamri.
Matlab,
Yeah, it was a good session for me as well. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Absolutely, me too. I mean, it was really, really interesting. So, thank you, everyone. We'll see you again next week. Till then, bye bye. Keep following Unocoin.